coronavirus have affected the entire global market, especially in hospitality and the tourism industry, that they get even more affected than any other industries. And since we have the hotel fund and we have investors investing in our hotel fund, we would like to take this opportunity to give everyone the most genuine and transparent updates of how we're operating right now and what's our plan and what's our forecast in the future. Let me introduce Candy, our group relationship manager. She's gonna give everyone a very transparent update to the hotel operating and the entire hospitality market in Australia.
I think it's important to note, this is a global crisis. As we all know, the World Health Organization has put out the national pandemic, and Australia and Victoria has essentially been responding in the best way that we can. And as you mentioned, just earlier, the hospitality market has been significantly impacted.
I think it really came to throes with the cancellation of the Grand Prix.
For our Melbourne markets, for the entire Melbourne market, particularly the Grand Prix, the cancellation of that was a significant impact on how the trajectory was going to, be predicted. So essentially, what we saw from that perspective is mass cancellations amidst the confusion with the government. Also, I think, Kong Han, there's a lot to be said in people thinking that businesses are going to remain open, whether schools, whether universities. All of this has thrown a significant amount of confusion to the general public. So what we're seeing now, Qantas announced this morning that they're actually suspending 90% of their international market, whereas the Australian government has banned effectively the Chinese tourists, which make up a contributing factor to a significant number of our properties. European markets, I don't think the US is far behind, and I think from a country perspective, from a global perspective, this is the sensible thing to be doing to inhibit and stop and prevent any further infections. But I was reading a report this morning that the hospitality and the tourism industry are going to be the heaviest hit. Unfortunately, we can't have people in closed spaces. We come into a time, in winter where, sport is effectively going to be considerably reduced with AFL games being spectator only. You've got cricket that's already running as spectator only. So at this point, where we were currently sitting, at 80-90% occupancy, we're really truly sitting at approximately 20% at the moment, and that's with the cancellations that we've already had and not the foreseen cancellations. So I think at the moment, what we're doing is obviously mitigating risk, increasing our cleaning standards so that there's confidence in the community for those guests that are inbound. Not that our cleaning wasn't already up to standard, but there are extra measures that are being required at this point in time. So at this point, I think that, the government, the Australian government is putting out that this could be, at bare minimum, a 6-month projected loss. Once we ride this out, which we will be able to do, there will be, people are confined to their homes. People are, it's a huge change of lifestyle. So once we return to some kind of stability in what's going on, we will see a fairly immediate and quick pickup. How long that's going to be at the moment, as we've seen within government decisions, is very unknown. We cannot forecast or project when this is going to pick up, how it's going to pick up. What we can project is it's going to be very tight. I think there's, very, very little room for us to, make mistakes when it comes to, expenditure. We've already cut back our decisions today to cut back, to reduce staffing, to reduce the costs overall where we can, and to control those costs. When the situation changes, when either there's, a vaccine or a cure, essentially, I guess, or when, the pandemic and the panic stops, we will see it is projected from the documentation that I've been reading as well, that it will be a very steep learning curve. So I think a very steep increase in unit revenue again. So it'll be quick. It's been very quick to drop, and it will be quick to return. And a report that I watched, or a documentary that I watched from STR, which predicted the effect that SARS had, also indicates that it will be this steep, sharp downward turn, will turn around quite quickly, but it isn't projected for at least 6 months.
And thanks for the briefing and update from Candy. And as a fund manager, we also understand the investors' concern. We frequently have a meeting with the operators and with our other fund managers as well. So we have made the decision that we may not have distribution in end of June. I know it's a very tough decision. It's also a very tough decision for us, but to keep the investment alive and to keep the business alive is a key thing to protect our principle. And our principle is the first priorities. And I believe that after the virus, the market will slowly recover, or probably even will be quicker than we thought. But certainly it's not within this period of time that to keep all the hotels survive and operating as normal is the only steps that we can keep making profit in the future. It has been a very tough decision for me. It has been a very tough decision for our entire company and team. It's also recently all the hotel team, operating teams have huge pressures in getting good revenue, stable revenues, and also fighting with the landlords. But we have tried every possibilities and try our best to keep all our investors' principle the same and without reducing any unit price. And we would very appreciate for every investor to understand the market situation right now, and we appreciate your trust and investing with us. And within this irresistible market change, we also will stop any further investment, so there's any dilution on the total shares of the hotels. We also won't accept any redemption in this critical period, because that's going to affect the normal operating business as well. And thanks again for you guys' understanding.